like looking around everywhere because there was a car that was like driving back and forth, but his lights were off, and I'm pretty sure he worked here because it looked like he was wearing one of our work shirts, but I don't know. Anyway, welcome back to another vlog, guys. Today is Vlogmas 14? There's so much traffic. But yeah, I believe it's Vlogmas Day 14. And I was just gonna have a little story time with you guys on my way home. The other day we were looking at videos of Jayden, which is our oldest. We were looking at videos of her when she was a baby. Basically like a year and under. Maybe not even the year, but like under a year. And we were just kind of like reminiscing and remembering what she was like. Go ahead, little car, go ahead. Remembering what she was like at that age and whatnot. And like in these videos, they're at my husband's parents' house because obviously we had her when we were still in high school. Well, technically I was in high school. He had just graduated high school because he's a grade above me. He was a grade above me. So she was born right before my senior year started and right before his freshman year in college. So yeah, the videos were there at his parents' house, and I'm also like in the background of some of the videos. And I was just like thinking, you know, it was nice that although we weren't together, we were still always there for her mutually, you know, like we got along. This was before we got together because if you don't know, we actually didn't get back together until she was she was already 3 years old because she had turned 3 in August and we got together in November. So she was 3 years old when we got back together. But I was just thinking about how, you know, before that we were always, you know, hanging out. We were always, like I said, we got along for the most part. That car over there, if you can hear it, is really annoying. He keeps speeding up, and I don't know for what. He's ending up at the same lights as I am. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, we were always there for her. We were really great friends. So it was nice, you know, that we could both be there for her like that. Getting pregnant at such a young age was kind of scary, honestly. I mean, obviously, I don't remember exactly. I want to say probably because I missed my period, that I was kind of questioning if I was even pregnant to begin with. So I took an at-home pregnancy test and it said I was pregnant. So then I went to this like clinic that would, you know, do the test for me for free, and I didn't, you know, need my parents to be there with me. So I went and took the test with one of my friends at the time. She went with me, and I took the test, and she came, you know, the girl came back in, and she told me I was pregnant, and I honestly cried because I was so scared. Like, I was so scared to tell my parents. I was so scared to tell Isaiah. Like, I was just like, I was scared. So, you know, before that, I felt fine. I didn't feel like any kind of symptoms. It was just the fact that I was late. And I don't know if any of you mommies out there can relate, but I knew, and I felt it. So it wasn't until after I took, or until after they told me that, you know, I was in fact pregnant, that I started to feel horrible, like horrible. And months that I was throwing up constantly, and that was like the number one like giveaway to my parents or to my mom that I was pregnant, because obviously like it wasn't just that I was sick. So when I told my mom I was pregnant, she was like, I already knew. And I was like, okay. So, you know, she knew I was pregnant before I told her I was pregnant. My parents were supportive about it. You know, they were there for me, for Jayden. And then I told Isaiah, and he was actually out of town at a basketball tournament, and definitely probably the worst time to tell him, but I couldn't just like keep it to myself. That was just too big of a thing to hold on to until he came back into town. So I had to tell him, and you know, he was always there. He went to, you know, the appointments. He was there when she was born. He honestly, he was back and forth a lot when we had her, because, or when I had her, I'm the one that pushed her out obviously, but he was there, but he had to be bouncing back and forth because his brother was getting married that weekend. So I got admitted into the hospital on a Tuesday. I believe it was a Tuesday, and she was born that Wednesday. So he had, you know, the rehearsal dinner, he had the bachelor party, and then I had to stay an extra day at the hospital because I got a fever after I had her. So I had to stay, and the day that I was able to go home was the actual day of the wedding. And I remember he asked me if I wanted to go, and I was like, no, I can't. Like, as much as I, you know, wanted to, I was so exhausted. The delivery wasn't rough. My postpartum wasn't rough at all. I guess, you know, being the fact that I was only 17 when I had her, I bounced back really quickly. My stitches, you know, I think I got maybe between 5 to 10 stitches. So, you know, like peeing kind of hurt. You know, going number 2, like that was kind of like an awkward feeling. It didn't hurt, it was just like uncomfortable. And, you know, I was running around, jumping around. My stitches are fine. I was fine. I was healing great. I lost the baby weight, you know, like that. I bounced back really quick after I had her. And I think it's just because I was so young that my body was just able to recuperate so quickly. But after we had her, you know, we were always there. We had, you know, for her birthday parties, he was there with us we always made, you know, the birthday parties together. So yeah, and then after that, obviously her birthday parties obviously were together because we were together. But I really, you know, appreciate the guy that he was and still is. He was always there for me, for her, even though we weren't together. He made sure I was always okay as well. So that was, you know, something I greatly appreciated. But yeah, and then, like I said, we got together when she was 3, and we've been together ever since. When Jayden was 4, we decided, you know, we wanted another baby. So then we had our son. I had birth control, so I had to get it removed. And then probably a couple months later was when I finally got pregnant. So we had Bubba, and then we got married. So we had Bubba in January, and we got married in March, and our wedding night was when our youngest happened. So really the only one we planned was Bubba. the girls, Jayden for sure, was not planned. We were in high school. And Janaea was not planned, but not planned, if that makes sense. Janaea was more of a, if it happens, it happens. And of course it happened, especially being, you know, I had just had my son. He was only 2 months old. So of course I was extremely fertile. So hello Janaea, we, you know, we generally only wanted 2 kids. We wanted a girl and a boy. We had a girl and a boy, so we were golden. And then we had our little demon baby. She's something else. Like, she adds a little something else to our family. So we wouldn't have it any other way, you know? And oddly enough, especially after seeing those videos of Jayden being so little, the kids were saying that they wanted another baby. And Jayden was saying she wants a baby sister. And me and Isaiah were like, you have one. She's right there. And she's like, no, I want like a baby. Janaea wants a baby sister. Our son wants a baby brother. So they keep talking baby, and we're just kind of like, don't get me wrong, we wouldn't mind another baby. But being that after I had Janaea, I got the Esher, which is like little titanium coils, and they put one in each tube, and your like scar tissue heals over it because your body thinks it's a wound. So your scar tissue heals over that coil, and it just blocks your tubes. So if I wanted to get pregnant again, I would have to literally have surgery so that they could make incisions and take the tubes out, or not the tubes, but the coils, to take the coils out. And then it would kind of just be up in the air if I was even able to get pregnant after that procedure. But yeah, that was my little story time of being pregnant at 17. Oh, speaking of me feeling horrible, let me elaborate. Horrible in the sense of, you know, I was saying I was constantly, you know, throwing up. Let me tell you, it was constant. It was a daily thing. It was, I could drink water, and not to sound gross, but I could drink water and I threw it up so quickly or so soon that when it came out, it was still cold. Like, that's how bad my nausea was when I was pregnant with her. It was bad. I would have to run out of class, you know. Sometimes I wouldn't even make it to the restroom. I would have to find a trash can in the hallway. It was bad. And I honestly threw up right before I started pushing. It was horrible. Like, horrible. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. It was, oh man. And that little girl was always on my rib. Like, I would push her down and she would move right back to my rib. Push her down and she would move right back up to my rib. So my rib was always killing me. And you know what, now that I think about it, that's probably why I still get random pain in my rib, because of her. My son, I had nausea probably my first trimester, and after that I was fine. With Janaea, I felt fine. I felt 100% fine. I wasn't nauseous. I wasn't throwing up. Nothing. But my husband, if my husband was around me when I was pregnant with Josiah and Janaea, if he was around me, he would feel the nausea. He would feel like throwing up. But I felt fine, especially with Janaea. So with Jayden, obviously school ended in June and I had her in August, so I had, you know, a couple months to just hang out. Josiah, I was working and we were living in Odessa, and we came home for New Year's, and I was kind of having like cramping, but I wasn't sure. Oh, you can't see me. with Josiah, we came home for New Year's, and I was kind of cramping, but because it had been so long since I had a baby, obviously, because Jayden was already going to be 4, I wasn't sure if it was contractions or, you know, just like suck it up. But before we drove back to Odessa, I called my doctor. He said, go get checked. So I went into the hospital, got checked. They checked me. I was 4 centimeters. They admitted me, and I had Bubba the next day. With Janaea, I actually went into work the same day I had her. I got up, got ready for work, and I noticed that I was spotting, so I called my doctor. She told me to go in, and sure enough, I was 4 centimeters. They admitted me, and she was born a few hours later. So yeah, that was my experience with my pregnancies. They were all totally different, but that's the beauty of pregnancies and motherhood. But all right, I am home, gonna get ready for the gym, and I will see you guys tomorrow.